Thank you so much for being here with us, Dr. Silverman. What a pleasure.
Great to be here with you, and I'm speaking very slowly.
Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate also our translators, Mauricio and Sylvie. Thank you guys very much.
Gracias, merci.
Well, let's go back to the very beginning. I feel very privileged to know you, but some of you may not know, this is Dr. David Silverman. He is a triple ambassador with the Asea company. He is a retired podiatric surgeon, and he is a very valued member of the Asea medical board, and he's also a great friend of ours. So why don't we go back to the beginning and have a little conversation about how you came to Asea and how did you discover Redox and this great company?
Awesome. Thank you, Christine. I look forward to seeing you at the convention in Texas in September. Yes. And congratulations. Are you bringing the baby?
We are yet to decide.
Okay. I was there that night, so I get to see.
Yes, you were.
I was at an Asea. That sounds bad to everybody, but we'll explain later. It's all innocent.
we have had some really fun times. That is the truth.
We have. And I want to thank Mauricio and Sylvie for doing this first time. This is a test, everybody. We may be able to do this in many languages at the same time. So my story is very similar to most people's story with this. I was called by a friend in December of 2010, and she's not a doctor like me. She was an interior decorator, Debbie Wetzler, but she's a friend. And we sat down at a French cafe outside here in Maryland. And she looked a little nervous when she spoke to me, but she said, "David, I love you." And I didn't know if she was telling me like she was going to die or that she wanted me to leave my wife. I really didn't know. But she told me about Asea. And she simply told me what she had seen happen with her mother and herself. And I had no interest in the business side of this at all. I was done with multi-level marketing, no more. I got burned and abused too many times, never doing it again. But my reason for looking into it wasn't me, it was my father. She didn't know this, but my father had just been diagnosed with something really bad. We don't talk about diseases, but he was diagnosed with something that no one wants to hear they have in any part of their body, whether it's their prostate or their lung or their breast. And so I investigated it very carefully for my father, saw some very interesting things happen with him, and he's fine today. But I referred people to Debbie for months, and over weeks and months, the people came back to me with blood sugar problems, breathing problems, eye problems, skin problems, and they all said, "Thank you." And so eventually, about 8 or almost 10 months, I got on a plane and I flew to Utah to meet Vertus and Tyler Norton and Scott Aldred and all the people who started the company and who were running the company. I needed to feel their heart, to see that they were good people and that this truly was a biotech company that developed this breakthrough for humanity, that decided to market it through word of mouth. And that's when I fell in love. And that's when I started building the business, was the end of 2011.
So it's been nearly a decade. Well, no, over a decade, obviously. And what can you see that's changed in terms of how the world understands redox signaling? There's a lot of new people here, David, and maybe it might even be worth having like a brief explanation of what it is that we're talking about. What is redox signaling for those
Sure.
that don't understand, and how it's evolved in the time you've been with Asea?
Sure. And by the way, I think we're stuck at 300. It goes to 300 and it drops to 299. So just for next time, may want to see. But I know we're streaming into Facebook, so that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I selected 500. I'm just not sure. I'll.
That's okay. I'm just noticing it. That's all, because
Yeah,
it was
you're
going
right.
up and then it's
Yeah.
so anyway. I like to keep things really simple. Most people don't care really on a deep level of the electron and the cell, how it works. If they do, they can read this book. It's very good. Redox Matters by Dr. Lee Osler. There's a very simple book that I really like. It's very simple. It's called Life's Biohack by Ricardo Wilkins. It is very simple. And I like to keep it simple. There are resources for people who want deep science, but here's what it is. So two things. When you think about true health, being healthy, is being healthy this, what I say first or what I say second? First, say I'm thirsty all the time and I have to urinate all the time and I don't feel right. And I go to my doctor and they test my blood and they say, Dr. Silverman, your blood glucose is 800. You need a prescription for metformin or insulin. Okay. Because, my pancreas doesn't function properly. Or I see spots in my eyes and I go to the doctor and they look in my eye and the doctor says, oh, you have macular degeneration. Your retina is not healthy. We have to inject steroids into your eyeball every month with a needle for the rest of your life. Is that true health?
No.
It's not. Because what the problem is that the cells of my pancreas that were healthy producing insulin are now not healthy, or they're not producing insulin. And the cells in my retina are not functioning the way they used to. They're bad cells. They're not, with the medicines, they're not helping my body make the cells healthy again. They're just filling a void. They are giving me something that will do kind of what my body was supposed to do to make it so that I can see or that I don't die from diabetes. Okay, that's the first part. The second part is that as we get older, we all see our bodies change. We see our bodies physically change on the outside.
Unfortunately.
And on the inside, right? Well, I'm 62. I feel like I'm 26 because of this product. So and why does that happen? Why is it when we age, we have arthritis, we have more? You don't see a lot of diseases in young people. You see some. You don't see a lot of cancer. You see more every decade of life. You see more arthritis. You see more cancer. You may see more diabetes. You see more glaucoma. You see more heart attacks. You see more everything as we get older. Why is that? Right? Well, here's what this is. This is called redox signaling molecules. And it's not a medicine, nothing like a medicine. It's not a food. It's something that our body produces, redox signaling molecules in our mitochondria, or I know in Europe they say mitochondria, but in our mitochondria. So we all make it from salt and water, and we can talk about that. Our cells make it from salt and water because that's what our cells are filled with. When you go to the hospital and they give you an IV bag, they don't give you water. They don't give you orange juice. They don't give you blood. They give you saline, salt water. So our cells make these molecules from salt and water, but we produced more when we were younger because our mitochondria are much stronger when we're young, and that's where it's produced. So when I was a little boy, I was producing this much. When I was 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. When I'm 62, I make this much. But when I drink this, I raise my levels back up to what they were when I was younger. And I can
Wow.
explain what it does. But this is a very simple explanation. I'll tell how it works.
Mm.
But what's happening is I'm making this much still, but I drink this much. So it's what we call in the US a biohack. It's as safe as water. You cannot be allergic to it. It does not interfere with medications. You don't have to stop medicines, and there's no toxicity. When I was a doctor and I would write prescriptions, I would take my pad and before I wrote the prescription, I would say, Christina, are you allergic to any medications? Because if I wrote the wrong medicine, I could kill you, right? I have to know. You can't be allergic to this, right? As I said. 2, Christina, are you taking any medications? If I write the wrong prescription, it might interact and make you sick or kill you. Doesn't interfere. Then I have to know the dosage. If it's 500 milligrams 4 times a day, and I write it, what if I wrote down by accident 5,000 milligrams 4 times a day? And the pharmacist didn't notice it. If you took it, I can make you sick or kill you. This, no, most people drink between 4 to 8 ounces a day, which is 120 to 240 ml. You can drink as much as you want. I was in Asia, I was traveling in Asia for a month in February. I took 17 flights in 26 days, right? Speaking every day. I didn't want to get sick. I couldn't afford to get sick. So about a week before I left, I usually drink 8 ounces a day, 240 ml, but I was drinking a whole bottle every day just because I wanted to stay as strong as I could stay. So that's basically what this is. It's something that's in us that they figured out how to make it outside the body. We're raising our levels back up. And then I can explain, when you're ready, what it's doing in the body. And most importantly, how can I prove it to myself that it's real? Because it's very easy to do that yourself.
Well, that sounds like a really good place to go to next in this interview. Thank you for that really clear explanation. So, Dr. Silverman, you're saying we have a way to help our bodies perform like they used to effectively when we were younger. I mean, that sounds like a pretty big breakthrough. That sounds pretty exciting.
It's the biggest breakthrough in the history of health. And no one really believes that until they see it. I mean, people think that penicillin was the greatest breakthrough. Penicillin was a great breakthrough. But penicillin is a medicine that's for a very specific thing, an infection, and a very specific type of infection. This is what men and women throughout history have all gotten to a point in their lives where they prayed for something like this. They didn't pray for it when they were young. They got to a certain point in their life, whether it was 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, where they said, I wish I could be young again. I wish my cells were young again. And that's what we have here. This is the only thing that I think is as big of a breakthrough as this in health is stem cells. Stem cells are remarkable, but stem cell treatment is very expensive. And if it doesn't work, it's like, oh, it didn't work. This is as safe as water, and it comes with a money back guarantee. And it's easy to prove to anyone in 10 minutes that it's real.
Right.
That's what I love about this.
That. Yeah, let's talk about that. How could I find out if this is real? How is it working in the body, and how can I check that it's working?
Okay, so how it works, and I'm not going to go deep into this. Okay, for the people who speak English, I put together a generic site with videos of me explaining this a little more in depth. It's gettingyoungerclub.com. Gettingyoungerclub.com. There's no contact information on there. It's just a generic site. So don't call me, call the person who told you about this. So we know that it does 3 things, and the company has about 14 products. I'm focusing on these 2. Okay, Renew 28 and Asea, the liquid. It's the same thing. This is cellular health from the inside out. This is cellular health from the outside in. It's a gel.
Mm-hmm.
What it does in the body, we know 3 things, but this doesn't explain all the things that we see. 1, it raises your levels of your own antioxidants. So glutathione is a big one. Again, most people don't know their gluta what. They don't know what I'm saying. People that know what glutathione is know that it is precious in the body. And anything that increases glutathione is good. Well, we know that it does that. We also know that it turns our genes back on that turn off as we age. So a placebo-controlled, double-blind study, it was just 8 weeks, proved that it turns our genes back on. What does that mean? Our genes are like the blueprint for our cells. Our liver cells need to produce certain proteins to make the liver function properly, right? The cells. And so the genes are telling the liver cells, produce these proteins so that you can have a good cell, a liver cell that functions. Well, it's different proteins in the liver than it is in the retina. The retina cells are different, but the genes are the blueprint telling the cells which proteins to produce. Well, that's called genetic expression. And that genetic expression has been known for decades that it decreases as we age, and it starts decreasing after puberty. Isn't that interesting? That's when we start producing less of this. The double-blind placebo-controlled study proved that this turns the genes back on. And so that's one thing that it does. The other thing that it does is it amplifies signaling from cell to cell, not just from gene to cell to cell, including the immune system. So when you're riding your bicycle and this is your bone cells, and you fall off your bicycle and you break your bone in your arm, well, now there's cells that are broken. Now you may have to go to a doctor to have that realigned so it heals in the right place, but the body does the healing. And what the body has to do is get rid of these bad cells and replace them with good ones. Okay. Or as we get old, our cells have a lifespan. We live 70, 80 years. Our cells don't live that long. Bone cells last 7 to 10 years, but there are cells in our gut, they last days. And the cells are healthy inside your gut, and then they start to die, and they need to be replaced with good ones. If they're not replaced with good ones, then you have intestinal disease. Or in your retina, if they're not replaced with good ones, you're going to go blind. We don't all go blind. We don't all have intestinal diseases. These things get worse as we get older. So what happens is when you have a bad cell, it's mutating, let's say, it's going to become cancer. We all have cells that mutate, but we don't all get cancer because the immune system gets a signal that this bad cell is in my prostate. The good cells detect the problem and call for help. Help. The immune system cells get the signal. They come down, they kill the cell. It dissolve it with acid. The debris gets carried away in the lymph system, and eventually you urinate it out. And then the good cell replicates itself. And so this is happening in us now.
Wow.
But what redox molecules do is they don't cure you or heal you. What they do is when that cell calls for help, it's very important that the immune system hears the call for help. Redox molecules amplify the signal. So when you have a lot, the call for help is loud and clear. Help. The immune system comes down, heals the broken bone in the little girl, right? And all good. Well, when you're 50 years old and you fall off your bicycle and you break your arm, you have less redox molecules. So instead of help, it's help. When you're 80, it's help. So when you drink this product, it's amplifying signal, and your immune system doesn't care if it's a retina cell, a bone cell, a liver cell, a kidney cell. It's going to respond the way it did when it was younger. And younger people are healthier and heal faster than older people. That's basically how it works. Now,
Wow.
validating it so people feel it, here's what you do. You need to know where you are when you start. So with the drink, you write down everything about your health today. How well do you sleep? How much energy do you have? Do you have problems with your eyes? Do you have ringing in your ear? Is your blood sugar too high? Do you have skin problems? Do you have horrible headaches? How is your balance? Everything about your health today, with everything you're doing, your medicines and everything, and you write it down, including athletic performance, because athletes get a big benefit. And you take pictures of your skin, wrinkles, scars, pimples, cellulite, everything. You take pictures of skin problems, anything, and say, here is where I am today. And then you start doing this. Now, I'm not going to go through the exact instructions with this. It's simple to do, but you need some guidance. And after 1 week of this, about 15% of people say, voila, this is amazing. 15%. Well, they went through about 1 bottle the first week. The 85% of people who don't see anything, they should temporarily double it. They were drinking 4 ounces a day, 120 ml. They double it to the magic 8 ounces a day, or 240 ml, and they stay there until they see until they say voila. Right? If they do that, 60% say voila at 1 month, 90% say voila at day 90. But this is where the gel comes, because it only takes 10 minutes with the gel. Anyone who wants to prove that this is real will know it's real in 10 minutes. Anyone who wants to disprove and they say this is not real, I don't believe it, they'll know in 10 minutes that it is. And so they take the gel, which is clear. It's the same as the drink in a gel form. It's clear. There's no smell. I'm putting it on my face because it is marketed for anti-aging. And it works. It works really well, but it won't work in 10 minutes. So what you do is when you want to do the 10-minute test, you want to find 5 or 10 people that have a problem. And this is a very common problem that a lot of people have. Some have it a little bit, and some have it so bad they can't even get out of bed. And the problem is things that hurt them. It could be their neck. It has nothing to do with wrinkles. Their neck, their shoulder, their back, their knee. And you ask them for 10 minutes to test this gel that's made from salt and water. And people say, I don't believe it. That's okay. They don't have to believe. They'll believe in 10 minutes. So you find 10 people, and what they do is they rate their hurting level, their discomfort level on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, it hurts a little bit. 10, it's terrible. And so you have your baseline. Just like you write down everything about your health with this, you're getting your and give it 90 days. This is 10 minutes. So they give you the number, say it's a 7. It's a 7. They shake up the gel and they apply it to the area, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the first 5 minutes. 3 times in the first 5 minutes. So they put it on, it dries. They put it on, it dries. They put it on, it dries. And at 10 minutes, ask them all 10 how they feel. And you watch what happens to not 2 out of the 10, not 5, and watch what happens to about 9 out of 10 of them. Almost everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, almost everybody, when they say, How did it do that?
I've seen this. I've seen this with my own eyes for years, and it's always shocking. It's incredible.
Oh yeah. And then people realize three things, Christina, you know. One thing is there's a money back guarantee for 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
But remember I said only 60% of people say voila after 30 days. 40% don't. But if they've seen this,
yes,
what I just said, they give it 90 days. And if they're not drinking the magic 8, they will drink the magic 8 because they believe they've seen it themselves.
yes.
And they know that it's not salt water. People say it's salt water. Put salt water on 10 people. Watch it, nothing happens. So they know it's not salt water. They know it's very easy for anyone who wants to know that this is real, for whatever the reasons are, health, the business opportunity, before they tell anybody else, they want to know that it works before they tell other people. They know that it's very easy for anyone to prove that it works. And 3, if they're entrepreneurial, if they would like to make money, if they would like to help a lot of people, if they'd like to be part of this incredible community, they realize that they know about something before all of their friends know about it. They know about something before everybody in their city knows about it. They know about something before everybody in their country knows about it. They know about something before everybody in the world knows about it. And it's very, very exciting. And that's the way I felt 12 years ago. And I felt that way ever since.
Oh my gosh, I've got goosebumps, and I'm so grateful for these explanations that are new to me, even though I've been around a long time. And I know that your time is precious, so I've only got 2 more questions. Um, but I think it would be wrong of us not to talk about the opportunity, because you just mentioned it. We are the first to know about this technology. Nobody else has it out there in the marketplace. Um, as a medical practitioner, that might confuse some people why you jumped into the opportunity, the distribution of this breakthrough. Could you speak on what this opportunity is and why it has become something that everybody needs to explore in this current economic environment?
Yeah. And remember, when I started, I was referring people to Debbie. I was sending people to Debbie. I didn't get involved. And I think when people know that something is good, they naturally want to share it. And I was doing that. I just wasn't being paid for it. I was just, I feel like I'm a good person. I wanted to refer people to help them through Debbie. Here's the facts. And this is an absolute fact. Over 90% of people in this world are either struggling with money, not enough of it, or settling. So I made a lot of money as a doctor, but I settled not only with money, with time freedom. I think the most amazing way to go through life, and that's why I'm living a dream now, is to have more money than I need, all the time freedom that I want, to be able to work, to not work, to do what I want. But when I do work, to do something that is so fulfilling that it makes me feel good inside. And that's what we have here. Because when the company turned down the offer from the pharmaceutical company to bring this to market, which they did, the pharmaceutical company wanted to buy it at gettingyoungerclub.com. You can see the video there. It says not for sale. They say, we're not selling it. They decided to bring it to market through word of mouth. And so the model is brilliant, right? So the money that would go to advertising, to marketing, to spokespeople, to say, this product works, you should buy it, and then pay them a lot of money to say that, all of that money that would go there goes to us. So when someone if they're a customer, they're just ordering the product. If they're an associate, they are set up in business. The company does everything except tell people about it. They do the research and development. They do the manufacturing. They do the shipping. They do the accounting. They do everything. They give us free websites. All we do is tell people. So the model is this. If you become an associate, you're getting product yourself. You use it. You're enjoying it. You share it with people. Say you share it with 10 of your friends and they're ordering the product. Say they're just customers. Every time they order product, you get paid. Every single time. They order it this month, next year, you get paid. That creates income while you sleep. You did the work once and you get paid over and over again. That's more than enough money to buy all the product for everybody in your family. Okay. But there's a 90% chance that those people would like to have more choices in their life. And money doesn't make you happy, but it gives you choices, right? So they say, well, I want to do what you're doing. So if those 10 people did what you did, and they each found 10 people they know, that's 100 people. They get paid every time those 100 people order product, but so do you. Ongoing. Well, what if those 100 people told 10 people each? That's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. There's no limit to this. And what it creates is weekly income, which I couldn't get excited about selling makeup or pots and pans. I tell people about this anyway, right? It's hard unless someone is listening that has this already, that has more money than they need, that I put in my will. I mean, the money keeps coming. I did the work years ago, right? And I still get paid on it. All the money I need, time freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, right? If I was still a doctor, I'd be in my office right now at 2:30 in the afternoon. I had one call today, I'm doing this. And to have fulfillment and know you're making a difference in people's lives is so gratifying. So it's what I call a win-win. You're dramatically helping people and you're being rewarded in many ways, money, time, and also just love and hugs and appreciation.
I love that. I think there are so many people right now looking for meaning, looking for purpose. And like you said, there are a lot of online opportunities. There's a lot of exciting products, but there is only one Redox. And I agree with you. It's been so personally rewarding to see people get their health, get their energy, live with less pain, and just transforming lives. It's a wonderful way to make a living, and to anybody who's not satisfied with where they're at, you might want to ask the person who shared this with you to tell you more about the opportunity with Asea. Dr. Silverman, one last question, because we're so grateful for your time. And I know you can't tell us all the secrets, but you are in the Asea Medical Board. I know you have information about the future of the company, new products. Please tell us a little bit about where you see Asea, redox signaling, where you see the future going with this great company.
Well, I will, but one thing I left out is you. And what I mean is, I think people go through their lives and they go through their work week and they do their jobs and they don't have the kind of culture and be able to work with people like you, Christina, who are truly excited to be alive, excited about today, not living for the weekend, not living for summer vacation, not wondering when they can retire, to join hands and arms with people who are positive and making a difference and who are encouraging. This business, you want people to do better than you. Like Debbie Wetzler introduced this to me. I'm at a higher level than she is. She's not upset about that. She's very happy, you know, and it's the people. And I recommend everybody, now that the ban is lifted for unvaccinated people, if they're unvaccinated, to come to the United States in September and come to the convention. It's September 21st to the 23rd, and meet us all. We're all going to be there, and you must feel the company. It changes things when you go to convention. I'll say that. The future is pretty amazing. So even if the company only had these two products and that was it, I would be as excited as I am, because this is a breakthrough for humanity. This is patented. It's protected intellectual property. It's not reverse engineerable. We own this. And this is bigger than penicillin. And if you're new, you don't believe me, and it's okay. I wouldn't believe me either. When you see it, put it on 20 people that are ill for 90 days and watch. You'll say, my God, what he said is true. But they have developed a lot of amazing products. In fact, they're cellular performance products. These are Redox-based products. This one actually is, you know, it's going to come in a purple one, but this is being released in the United States. This is a new one on June 12th. I know that it's going to be recorded, but remarkable. And I used it, and I have pictures of what happened to me. It's pretty cool. But they have so many things in the pipeline. It's endless of what they can do with this technology. But I'm telling you, everybody on this planet should be drinking this every day, 4 to 8 ounces, unless they're healthy children. Healthy children don't, but if they have issues, they should be drinking it. 4 to 8 ounces a day, every day for the rest of their life, which is 122 to 240 ml. You want to look younger, put this on your skin. And they have a whole skincare line that makes this work even better. But of all the things, for God's sakes, we say, would you like to live younger longer? Not just look younger longer, live younger longer. This is critical. But the company I wish we could go into the whole company thing, but there's a lot coming. And me on the medical board, I don't own this company. I don't work for the company. It's a volunteer position, and it's an honor to be part of the medical professionals board. And there's going to be a medical professionals board presentation at the convention, actually. So that's what I was on that Zoom for before this. But we're just getting started, 13 years in, and this company is just getting started.
That is so exciting. I am dying to try all these products that are coming. But as you said, I already feel really fortunate. I feel like we have a secret when we know this blue bottle and that gel. I feel like we're privileged to have that secret. I feel like my family is protected because we have this information. And I'm so excited that there were so many people here today to hear about this secret, so it stops being a secret. And I understand, even though this room literally is supposed to hold a capacity of 500, I do not know why it blocked us at 300. Maybe it had something to do with the various channels. I'm not sure. But I am really grateful that you were here. We're not going to have time for questions right now because there is just so many people. We could be here for 5 hours. So we're not going to have time for questions. The person that invited you or somebody who's working with you is going to be able to answer all those questions. And if you're wanting a recording, we're going to do our best to provide a French and a Spanish recording. We're not sure if the system is recording 3 different channels. We definitely have the English recording. It's already live on Asea United. I tried to tell people to go there already, but you can catch it afterwards. We'll also have an individual recording released. But let me get back to the man of the hour, our good friend, Dr. David Silverman. I can really say this with all of my heart. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for having been here. I'm sure I can represent, you can see all the thank yous coming through, can represent people in 3 languages right now. Merci beaucoup. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you so much, Christina. Thank you. And I love you. You and your husband are very special people, and everybody can sense it. And you do a lot for everybody. And I'm sure we'll do this again at some point. So thank you so very, very much.
Sounds great. And the channel is blowing up. A huge thank you to Sylvie. I cannot imagine the sweat. Thank you so much to Mauricio. Thank you so much to these awesome translators. We will be doing this again, you guys. Appreciate you all. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye,
Have a great
everybody.
day.